You know, when I was a kid, I used to watch this show called MacGyver, and I used to think MacGyver was awesome. But then when I grew up, I realized that the things MacGyver did on the show would never have worked in real life. There was this one episode in particular where he made a bomb out of a rusty muffler and an oily rag. And, you know, after you. I knew a little bit about chemistry and physics at that point, and there's just no energy in an oily rag and a rusty muffler, you know? So the idea that he little bit of rust and some it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. And then it exploded, of course. And he and I think Mac were in the back of this white box truck with the bomb that just exploded and blew the door off. And instead of being hurt, they just stepped out and they went, like they were a little smoke inhalation was their biggest problem. And it ruined the whole show for me. I was just like, oh, I didn't realize this was all fake as a kid. But now I do. So I guess what I'm saying is that now that I'm an adult and I see what is wrong with the Democratic Party, I see that basically a lot of what they're doing right now is fake. And I used to not notice it, but now I notice it, and it kind of ruins the whole thing for me, right? So like the 2016 election, when they had an election, and then they had a winner, and the winner was fake, right? In other words, Hillary Clinton didn't really win the 2016 Democratic primary, but she became the 2016 Democratic nominee. How do you fix the Democratic Party? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But the number one thing the Democratic Party needs to do is start listening to their people, right? The Republican Party, in contrast, 2016 came along and there was this guy that was a bit of a blowhard, talked a lot, didn't really know that much about politics, or didn't seem to, but he was the guy that the people picked. And so the party went with it, and that is now our president, Donald Trump. And the thing is, the Republican Party is benefiting from the fact that they just listened to the people and did what the people wanted, and the Democratic Party is kind of suffering from the fact that they're not listening to their people right now. So I'm not sure exactly what the fix is. And the other problem that I see with the Democratic Party right now is that there's basically two main movements, like two competing movements inside the party. There is a radical leftist movement that wants to destroy the nation and tear everything down and rebuild from scratch, and you know how I feel about that. I don't like the idea of tearing down all the stuff that we have that's working. And then there's another movement, which is kind of like the normal leftist movement, and I think right now we're almost fighting with that radical movement for the soul of the nation. So I think that if the Republicans had any, or the right or the conservatives had any ability to affect what's going on inside the Democratic Party, we should try to move power back to the kind of the rational leftists, or at least support them in their attempts to take control of the Democratic Party. I'm not sure if that's going to work. It may be that what we really need to do is just have unity, not necessarily within the Republican Party, but have the right kind of take into our ranks the rational leftists, right? So the Eric Weinsteins, Brett Weinsteins, Heather Heyen, Jordan Petersons of the world, like bring them into our ranks and kind of create unity with them. I know that that's actually what Brett Weinstein's kind of proposing at the moment, in that he is proposing the unity ticket. I like the idea conceptually. I'm not sure if it's going to work politically, especially at this point where they're getting shut down by social media. Twitter actually kicked the Unity account off of their platform. Anything right now that is a threat to the Democratic nominee is being basically kicked off of social media, which is kind of crazy, because there's absolutely no chance that Biden's going to win. Now, I say that because I've supported McCain. I've supported Bob Dole. I've supported these really old candidates that I ideologically aligned with, and they had no chance of winning. I didn't really know that at the time, but now I kind of understand politics better, and it's not about ideology. Like, listen, you could have the best ideology, and if you're boring and unable to excite people, they're just not going to come vote for you. So you have to have some hook, some reason for people to believe in you and believe that you're going to do things for them. Joe Biden doesn't really have that. Like, he's an old guy. At best, he's a placeholder for Kamala Harris. And that doesn't seem like a great idea to me either. So, what do you do to fix the Democratic Party? I don't know. It can't be done before the election. Like, it literally can't be done before this election. It's going to have to be after the election, and hopefully we'll get the adults in the room to take over the party and make it into the partner for discourse that it needs to be.